listening to Crackers Radio. It's time for DiZzeL's verdict.
Yes.
And this week we'll be talking about Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh.
I was so excited for this. I was looking forward to this.
Oh, so was I.
Since the very first announcement.
That's because of the cast
to be fair,
as well.
generally, as a whole, I wasn't disappointed. I have to say, I wasn't disappointed. It was crazy mad. There's just no irony to it being called Mad Max. I don't know. Names are getting picked perfectly these days.
Okay.
I remember when Fast and Furious came out. That was literally furious.
I have to say something on this one because I did watch it and I was so excited, not only because of the cast, but because I've seen Mad Max, the old one. So I was excited to see what Tom Hardy had to bring.
Yeah.
Okay, now, it dragged. I lost interest.
It
started to get bored after a while.
Yeah.
What can I say about it really without giving away too much? It dragged the storyline. It took too long. I was waiting. I was looking at the time thinking, is this finished yet? Like, I'm really, really sad to say that because I'm a big fan of these actors.
The only downside for me was the point that it did drag at certain points where you then look, you're almost forced to kind of look at time and go, okay, just get to the end already.
Yeah,
get to the end already.
Waiting,
but
ready.
I think generally it's one of those projects where the style at which it was done was always going to be a risk, where just constant, furious, just like it was just crazy in the style that it was done. It was like a rock opera and car racing at the same time. It was like Formula One meets sort of a rock concert. You know, it's just drag racing in the desert with monster trucks, and it was something.
That side of things, the production was great. The action scenes were great, but the storyline, I'm disappointed.
It was
they were on a mission, and then they just thought, okay, forget the mission.
Based around Furiosa, who's played by Charlize Theron, who was terrific in it, by the way. And
did you see her fight scene?
She tries to take them away. There's a fight scene with Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's great, but
really
even so, cool. Half the time I forgot it was him.
But that's just the brilliance of the performance. He was really strong in terms of just almost not saying, because the thing is, this is not very. You could count the dialogues with your fingers. The amount of dialogue moments in this with your fingers, because it was just literally action packed. It was just race after race after action after explosion after crash after bang after.
Rosie got messed up though.
I mean, it was interesting with the choice of models.
Yes,
pretty much turned actors.
A lot of them are turning actors.
So that was kind of like a risk in its own, but I think it kind of worked for what it was going for, in terms of the fact that they were all sort of these wives of this
one king leader. He was gross, man.
So I think it was quite interesting in the style that they'd done with it, just in the fact that it was just action and music. Music played a massive role in this. It was very much a sound-driven piece in terms that a lot of it was sound design and fused with action, fast pace, and explosions and stunts that are just out of this world. Some of the best that I've seen. And I have to understand that they're actually real stunts and not very much CGI. No. So these are actually stuntmen performing, and that's kind of what
the bike
really
scenes,
bumped it up for me.
I really like the bike scenes.
It's not. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it is a spectacular.
It could have been better.
That's
all I have to say. It could have been a lot better than.
And this is why I decided not to see the originals. I just wanted to watch this for what it was.
But overall, Diz, what's your verdict?
Overall, my verdict. I mean, I pushed for an 8 at first, but I had to kind of reconsider in terms of looking back at the whole thing and how, you know, like you mentioned earlier as well, it dragged a little bit. Those moments that kind of dips in the performance wise. So I had to just bring it down to 7.5. I think is probably more of a fair evaluation of the film. So DiZzeL's verdict for me is a 7.5.
Really?
Because I'm looking at it not just as a story, but I'm looking at it as a complete piece. The fact, the sound design, the visual element of it,
I'd give it
performance as well. There's a 7.5.
I would give it a 7. Honestly, and to be honest with you, I was a bit harsh earlier. I was thinking 6.5, 6.7.
I think it's definitely no less than a 7.
7.
No less than a 7.
Because thinking about the way I mean, visually it was great. Definitely, it just dragged on, man.
You're listening to Crackers Radio, the home of soul.